Hello there guys, it's Joey. So this is a new Starry pillar for the store, and this was a request. It was requested that I create a pillar for the Celtic god Lugh, as we are coming up for Lugh in the... I wanted to say it's more of a modern celebration of Sabbats, but I think it's an interesting concept really, that the festivals go back and you can trace the origins of the festivals and things, but how they evolve and change and adapt is different. It's interesting, it interests me anyway, but I shan't get sidetracked. So the god Lugh is the god of many arts and skills, a god of light and sun, and the shining one. It was prophesied that he would kill his own grandfather, and as such he had a tumultuous beginning in which, like many of the prince stories that rise to kingdom, and it's a reoccurring theme in a lot of mythos I can think of, like they attempted to get rid of him because of prophecy. They tried to kill him. And along the way, he became very proficient at a great many things. He had a great many skills. It was said that he travelled to Tara, to the court of Nuada, and was challenged by the keeper of the gate to prove himself. And he was listing his skills, and the keeper of the gate responded that he already had a smith, he already had one of each of these talents within the court. And showing his intellect and keen wit, Lugh is said to have responded, but do you have an individual who possesses all of these skills? And this secured his entry. He also became sovereign, a king, after Nuada. Nuada was made less than whole in battle, and therefore in Celtic mythos, if a king is less than whole, he can no longer be king, because then the intricate relationship between sovereign and land is disharmonious and the land suffers. And Nuada appoints him king because of his many skills and talents in battle as well. And it is said that he defeated the Fomorians, slaying his own grandfather Baelor, thus fulfilling the prophecy at his birth. Lugh, the festival, is known as the commemoration of Lugh, but is also associated with his foster mother, Teletio, I'm not sure about the pronunciation of that one, who is said to have cleared the way for the introduction of agriculture in Ireland. Apologies for the curtains flapping everywhere. I can't have the curtains open or shut, and oh goodness. Hopefully you're getting a nice range of light moving through. It wasn't windy when I started this video. Right, so the pillar itself is to... Oh, I'll just have to risk glare. Is to reflect the energy of the shining one, of the sun god, of the Lugh energies of kingship and sovereignty, of his solar deity aspect, of being a pillar to reflect light in a very masculine sense. I've played with the idea of light in candles before, but they felt distinctly more feminine than this candle feels. Obviously it's for the god Lugh, and it had to reflect this idea of light and sun. And with Lugh being the focus upcoming of the festival to celebrate Lugh, at least in a modern conception of things, therefore it had to sort of reflect that, the energy of that time of year, the colour spectrum of that time of year, how the light falls on the cornfields, and the corn, and the harvesting of the corn, and the sacrifice of the corn, and that bleeds into, quite literally, the festival of Lugh, and Lughnasadh, and that is not necessarily from his particular myth, but it all sort of conglomerates now, and it's more of a generalized sacrifice of the god, of the barley king, or the corn king, and that kind of local folklore has all come together into the Lughnasadh that we understand today. But very much I wanted those fields to be in the presence of your mind, the light beaming onto those fields. I wanted the nature elements to come through, but I also really wanted the light element to really reflect the sun god, Lugh, the shining one, the energies of radiance and sovereignty. And sovereignty flows into his story, and I think that solar elements are very frequently associated with sovereign elements. You can see it through many myths, including many Celtic myths, the role of the solar energy, the solar god or the solar goddess coming through into elements of sovereignty. And it makes sense from a nature perspective, as solar energies, light, the abundance of light and the abundance of the harvest time is very much directly affecting the way of the abundance of land. So, you know, Lughnasadh is the first harvest of bounty, of grain, that being life-sustaining, and that being the bounty of the land. And of course in Celtic mythos, the sovereign is directly tied to that energy of the land. So if the land is bountiful, then the sovereign is bountiful and has helped make that happen. Sorry, I was just completely distracted by about 30 blackbirds that just all flew out of the bush over yonder. The blackbirds have been doing crazy things around here lately. It's been fun to watch. Okay, sorry, completely distracted. So we'll have a close-up of the candle and finish that, because apparently it's a morning for distractions. But I wanted to get this done, so can you see the ring of light here? Oh, right, so this is the top, and it has that solar god, solar energy, reflection of the sun, and it feels like a harvest sun. When the sun is quite low in the sky perhaps, and it's a full and orange, you know how you get those harvest suns, and particularly when the sun is perhaps setting at this time of year, and it's a much later setting obviously, but there's something really ferocious about the light when it sets at this time of year. It's very orange, very powerful, very grr baby, and that's what I wanted it to reflect on an aesthetic level. And then I hope you can see, I'm pretty sure you will be able to, because I always think you can't see, and then the render plays it. There is a diffusion of light all the way through. It's very specific. It's been done on purpose. I spent time with it to make sure it diffused through, and I'm really happy with how that light moves through, and it's kind of like this great big golden sun of the Lughnasadh festival at the top, and then the light that pours from that reaches to all corners of the land. So that's the idea behind the aesthetic, and I'm really happy with it. Given that I don't have many god candles currently, I will likely keep this one up for anybody who's interested in the future. I'm going to get this up ASAP for the requestee, and then if anyone else wants one for Lughnasadh, jump on it quick, because we're almost there. But you can certainly get them pretty quickly in the UK, remembering that pillars take a day or two to complete, and then a day or two first class post, and in America the shipping is usually around 1 week, unless the US Postal Service kicks off, which of course they do like to. Right, so this is the Starry pillar for the Celtic god Lugh. Many blessings.